honestly, like people always ask me, oh, have you got any advice? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm really sorry, I ain't got a clue. I'm just making it up as I go along.
So how do you prepare for that? And so I'm guessing you had like your regular sort of little bit of recovery after K2, maybe had half an hour off or something like that before you got back on the bike. But how do you get to the point where you're convinced that the double Everest is like, it's doable? What kind of work are you putting
Yeah,
in?
yeah, it's I feel with stuff like that, I spend at least a couple of months beforehand preparing, and the preparation for me is lots and lots of bike riding. Usually, like with something like that, I'll do at least 24 hours a day, 24 hours a week. Sorry, 24 hours a week on my bike, which isn't necessarily a great deal. It's still like 3.5 hours a day with a full-time job, which is pretty exhausting. But it's not like a gratuitous amount, like I don't know, somebody on the world tour or something. And I was really curious to see how it tallied up against like some of the tour riders on Strava. Just that morbid curiosity. But you kind of divide the preparation between time on the bike and I feel, I think I said this before, like with bike rides like that, I've already done it in my head and I know that it's doable and I convince myself that it's doable. And I'm not really sure, I can't really explain how I do that, but by the time the day comes, I feel like all I've got to do is prove to everyone else that that it's achievable, and I know that it's achievable. So in my head, it's done, and like the hard work's all done by that point. Like the preparation, and everything is like um, yeah, it's like painting a picture and spending months beforehand painting a picture, and then the day is just revealing it to everyone. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I feel it's all done at that point, and then once you've done it in your head, yeah, I think it's fair game. Um,
What's involved in that, the process of like, when you say doing it in your head, is there a visualization? Is it just like a positive self-talk over a period of time to keep
yeah,
like convincing yourself? What is actually kind of going through your mind?
I think every week or most bike rides, in fact, I'll set myself a goal, like an achievable small goal, and I'll make sure I achieve all those small goals along the way, whether it's just one
Can
more
you,
lap that
yeah, can you
day.
give a little example, like what might be like a goal that you go for?
Yeah, like I might decide to do, as well as 24 hours in the week, I might decide that one of those days I'm going to do 6 hours solid, just lapping the bike park, for example. And then once I see that I've gone over that 6 hours, that's like tick, small goal, a necessary step to doing a double Everest achieved. And it is, looking back, very arbitrary because that wasn't a significant and absolute must, a stipulant to do a double Everest. But in my head at the time, I've got to achieve that small goal before progressing to the next point of preparation.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what that says about me, but the double Everest, it wasn't just a bike ride that lasted 2 days. It was months of small goals and incremental gains, and to a point where in your mind you've achieved dozens and dozens of things consecutively that makes you feel like not only are you on the right path, but it's now doable unequivocally, and you've just got to go and show that you've done everything beforehand.
Yeah.
And also you said there about like visualization, and yeah, absolutely. Like I'd already worked out with the climb I was doing and in correlation to the amount of meters, like pretty much exactly where I'd finish. And so every time I bike past that point, I'd imagine just getting off my bike at that point and finishing my ride and how it would feel. And that's a lot of visualization as
Yeah.
well.
Did you ever fail on any of those small goals in the run up? Have you ever had one where you're like, oh, I didn't quite make it, or I didn't feel it today?
Um, no. Well, I had one thing that this year after the double Everest that I did, but it wasn't necessarily a goal whilst building up to something, but it was like something that I had to. I pretty much gave myself hypothermia one day, and I had to be rescued.
No, no way.
um, yeah, yeah. So that was really stupid. That was more of just like a really stupid thing I did, as opposed to the inability to achieve something through a lack of willpower. You know,
Yeah. Is that your
that was just.
first fail? Like, I don't,
Um,
unless you've kept things quiet, you always seem to succeed at what you go at.
oh, if I um verbally and openly say I'm going to set out to achieve something, I will, and I've never not reached yeah, hopefully that carries on. But that was just a bike ride gone wrong.
So how did that affect you? Like, did it knock your confidence, or are you able to just kind of be like, that was
Yeah.
just a bit stupid? Like,
Initially, yeah, when I did it, I felt really defeated, and it's a really odd feeling. But then a few days later, I was like, no, that was just silly. That was under preparation, and it's just me going out on a whim. Um, I got a free lift to Christchurch, which, if you're familiar with New Zealand, is on like the east coast of the South Island, and Queensland's on the like kind of nearer to the west coast. It's about 480k from one to the other. And my friend gave me a free lift to Christchurch, so I thought, oh well, if I like, I'll just book a hostel. And I stayed in a hostel and set an alarm for 11:30 at night, so I got like 3 or 4 hours sleep. And I was like, if I set up at 12, I'll just bike as fast as I can back to Queenstown in a day, which would have been doable. Like, it would have been a big old day, but I thought it'd be really good fun. And this is in October, like spring, early springtime, middle of the spring. And I went with just like a really thin base layer and a windbreaker, and it was horrendous. It was freezing. There was ice on the cars, and I was so cold. Gosh, it was my nickname's Hypothermia Hildred, and that was before the fact. I'd already made a mess of myself before a few times, and I've had to be rescued.
oh mate,
um, and yeah, I was biking from midnight along like the Canterbury Plains, like the flats out of Christchurch. And yeah, as I say, there's ice on the road, ice on the cars, and I was just like, and you're violently shaking because you're that cold. And it was just like, it was so miserable. And I got to Ashburton, this town, and I found a newspaper dispenser, and I took a few newspapers out there and like packed up my windbreaker that was doing fuck all at the time. With newspaper just to carry on. and
man.
then and then I got to Fairley Pie Shop 8 hours in at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I must have looked horrendous because I walked in and they were worried for me, and they got me to put my hands on the hot pie cabinet, which was horrendous because it's like instant hot aches. But I didn't want to be I didn't want to come across as ungrateful, so I just stood there for a while. And then it took me about 20 minutes to eat a pie, and I just couldn't keep food down and all day, and I was just shivering, violently shivering all day. Yeah, when you get that cold, you just can't warm up. It was ever so odd, and that cold that you feel sick constantly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I managed to eat like I think a bag of peanuts all day, and got about 330k in, and it started to get dark and cold again, and I was in a bad place. And my housemate Callum, who takes all the pictures as well, took pity on me and came and rescued me.
Mate, that's
So,
insane.
oh no, it's just stupid duck. What a plonker.
Oh well, live and
But
learn,
never
eh?
mind. That's it. Yeah, it's all good fun, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
a good story at least.
Yeah, definitely. So with this, like this build up to an event, right? We're talking about ticking off like these incremental goals every week or every day or whatever, working up,
Yeah.
building that like confidence in your own ability to deliver when the actual event comes around. How is that structure and those goals, is that just based on experience? Is it literally just goals plucked out of thin air where you're like, oh, this will be a bit harder than next
Oh,
week? Or is there advice from a coach? I'm trying to understand, like,
yeah.
is there much like scientific backing and structure to what you do? Or are you literally just like, I'm going to go a bit harder every time?
Yeah, yeah. There's no. I don't have a coach. Don't have a nutritionist. Don't have a PT. Never been to a gym. I ain't got a clue. Like honestly, like people always ask me, oh, have you got any advice? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm really sorry, I ain't got a clue. I'm just making it up as I go along. Um, so yeah, like the goals are all, yeah, just make believe. Um, and yeah, as long as it's pushing me, that's like the only criteria for the goal, you know. But yeah, God, I wish I had a really good answer for you there, but
Well, that is a good answer, mate. It shows what's possible by just going out and riding your bike.